The story begins on a bright afternoon with a young man named Blinksy, the story protagonist, who is an orphan and a university student who had just awoken from unconsciousness. He was covered with bruises all over his body while tied up on a tree upside down. Then he remembered Huey-Goo and his buddies took him into the forest and knocked him out. Huey-Goo considers himself unlucky to have been classmates with Ling-Si in high school and never imagined they would be attending the same university again. Huey-Goo cursed and mocked Plainsy, wondering how he was still alive after beating him up for 3 years. He also criticized Ling-Si's game avatar for having a great character, yet in real life he is lowly trash. Huey-Goo then strikes Ling-Si's chest just because he was pissed off by his face, causing him to spill blood out of his mouth. Ling-Si accidentally bumped into Huey-Goo during freshman in high school, and Huey-Goo has been picking on him ever since. After all, Huey-Goo is an awakened person, so apologizing to him is pointless. The term awaken refers to the second evolution of humans. In this year it began when the game Heavenland was established. The sooner a player reaches the maximum level, the more likely they will experience the actualization of their in-game character's class. In other words, they will acquire the skills of their character's class in real life, a process known as second evolution. The younger or more powerful and awakened they are, the more valuable they are in the country. They will receive high-level treatment and education unattainable by ordinary people and will join the elites of the elite class. One of Huey-Goo's buddies anxiously advised him that if he keep hitting Ling-Si he might die in it. Will be trouble, but he just cold-heartedly replied, "Trouble? Do you think I'll be affected by the death of a human garbage like him in the society?" And as soon as he saw Ling 101 staring blankly at him, he became more pissed and cursed him while using his skill-rippling war cry. A powerful roar of a warrior intimidates and damages the target's body and mind. Huey-Goo bragged that he is awakened, whereas Ling-Si is just nobody. Once again Ling-Si screams in agony while vomiting blood out of his mouth. Ling-Si has a wishful thought that if only his chances were higher and he was also awakened, then maybe everything would change. As night fell, Huey-Goo and his friends began to walk away, leaving him still tied up in the tree covered in blood and bruises. He thought to himself, it would be great if I could start over from the beginning. In his apartment after taking a shower, he exposes how bruised his body is, then glanced at the VR headset and began to lie down on his bed wearing the VR headset to begin playing the Heavenland game. Then his consciousness traveled into the Heavenland world. Inside the game, in the Heavenland main city of Casper, he used his real name as his gaming ID in this world, and he is a max level thief. Ling-Si, his character avatar, is a tall guy with white hair and crimson ruby eyes who wears full black. Ling-Si has a gaming talent, but because he began playing Heavenland a little late, he needs to catch up with the game's veteran players despite receiving rare dagger. His position on the Thief's global combat power leaderboard dropped. Few players in this game were fortunate enough to obtain top-tier equipment, while others were boosted by high-ranking players. He is currently millionth in the world. In the years, he maxed out his level in just a year and climbed from unranked to the top K on the global leaderboard for their class. The top K thieves in world are included on the first page of the Thief class combat power leaderboard and are recognized as godlike beings. Ling-Si acknowledges that he will no longer have the opportunity to be in the top K, let alone the all-class combat power leaderboard, and he's hoping again to have a chance to become an awaken as well. A group of hired players was established, led by a lady with white hair and a floating blue book beside her. They have a guild, but the lady refuses to seek assistance since she does not want to use family relationships. As a result, his bodyguard hired a couple of players to assist the woman's mission, since there are a lot of scammers in the game who take advantage of other players. When the woman questioned if he spent a lot of money to hire the other players, her bodyguard said, "Yes, miss, there is also a thief. He should be the one standing beside the teleporter." Ling-Si then introduces himself to them. Bodyguard glared at him and informed him that he didn't need to introduce himself since he already knew all of his information and that he was only hired to fill in the numbers. And lastly, he warned him not to hinder them. Ling-Si feels annoyed because there are so many people who run their mounts like this bodyguard. A girl wearing a blue hoodie with wolf ears and a bandage on her face wondered why Ling-Si is not a member of any guild or alliance. He just replied that he is a solo player. The all-class alliances, where the most skilled players assemble in this game, it is an organization that fulfills missions or requests for players in exchange for money. Ling-Si, his talents qualify him to join the alliance, but he cannot afford the expensive testing fee since he has to withdraw and spend in-game currency for living expenses. A woman archer player wearing a green hood and a mask over her eyes insulted him. She stated that the last thing she wanted was a solo player like him taking on the job, since Ling-Si lacks qualifications and guarantees he may simply accept the job to be carried out. He simply gave him an attitude and said, "Is that so?" making her even angrier. Given that they were all present, the lady calmed them down and instructed them to begin the mission. However, she cannot avoid getting worried. The mission hasn't yet begun and some of the players are not getting along. His bodyguard, on the other hand, assures her that she should not be concerned because he is present. The mission then began and the man directed him to go first, which he did. A whirlwind arose in the sky and lightning struck all over the place. When he entered the teleporter, the party was caught off guard by the events that were happening and why the teleporter's energy wave was behaving strangely. They assumed it was a system error. Ling-Si, on the other hand, was wondering where he was and what was going on, why he wasn't teleported to the mission's map, and why the energy wave was so chaotic. Then Something unusual happened. His body was falling apart. He tried to log out of the game, but he couldn't, and his body was breaking up piece by piece. As he was about to vanish, he couldn't help but laugh at how unlucky he was to encounter a glitch in question. Is there anything in my life worth looking forward to? Instead of being terrified, he feels free and slowly accepts his fate, wishing that he would also vanish in real life, given that he has nothing to lose and nothing to hold on to in his life, even though he has many regrets. Players gathered in front of the teleporter, still unsure what was going on. The lady's bodyguard then wondered why Linksy hadn't appeared in the teleporter, and when he checked the player's account menu, he was surprised to see that Linksy's account had also disappeared. When Linksy opened his eyes, the first thing he noticed was that his hands were slightly longer than usual. As he stands up, his body feels odd. Looking in the mirror, he notices his in-game avatar and wonders if he is still in the game when an old bald man in a white lab coat shouted, "Hey, you're awake, child." He realized he was not alone and asked the old man who he was. He then thinks that he was in the real world. The old man believes that Linksy doesn't remember what just happened. He also said that he discovered Linksy in the alleyway while picking up some items. Linksy asked us to his location. The old guy told him that he was in his lunch and offered him soup, considering that he had been out cold all day. Linksy is still confused as to what is going on. The radio then broadcasts an advertisement for the game Heavenly. When it indicates that the game has been out for 3 months, it captivates his attention, and when he hears the year, he is astonished and still absorbing what he has just heard. He surprised the old man by shouting at him and asking him what year it is. Then the old man answered him with confusion, "The TV already said it's." Linksy couldn't believe it when he learned he had traveled back 3 years ago. Linksy's face suddenly changed, filled with excitement since the heavens granted his prayers and he now has an opportunity to start over. The old man asked him if he was okay. He smirked, laughed strangely, and replied that he was fine as he plotted climbing the top global leaderboards, becoming one of the godlike players, being the strongest awakened, founding a guild, and conquering everything. Linksy was eating like a beggar, and the old man told him to slow down because there was still more on the pot. Linksy informed the old man that his stomach was hungry when he awoke, so the old man went to get some more for him and suddenly asked if he was alone, causing him to daze for a second. Linksy had been alone since then and had no idea where his parents are. He replied to the old man that he was on his own, and the old man felt blank and wondered why Linksy didn't know where he was. Linksy couldn't even answer, so the old man informed him that he was now in the city's slum, a haven for people who couldn't survive in the city. In short, it was a gathering place for poor people. Linksy answered that he just relied on a school scholarship and savings from a part-time job, and he rents a cheap dormitory with his savings. The elderly man purchased a gaming helmet for his recently deceased son. He remembered his son, who wanted to play Heavenly, and was very confident that he would be awake and known in order to make the old man happy. His son also wishes to take him out to this slum place. He did not believe in his son, so Linksy told him that it is possible that awakening can change people's lives. It's not a normal game, and his son didn't lie. According to Linksy, he also told the old man that it's the second world in the future, which makes the old man sap because they have the same appearance. How Linksy talks about the seriousness of the game reminds him of his son. The old man and decided to let Linksy live with him if he had nowhere else to go, and Linksy simply thanked him for his generosity. After a while, the old man takes something from the cabinet and hands it to Linksy, who is overjoyed because he has seen the first-generation gaming helmet. His son does not want this thing that contains his dream to be used to dispose of accumulated ash. The old man allowed Linksy to keep his son's dream, and Linksy confidently stated that he would not only achieve but also surpass his son's dream. Linksy began the game and created a new character, but he continued to use his real name. The system let him choose a race and profession. The first race in heaven is the human race, which has balanced physical quality and amazing intelligence. Wisdom is a weapon, and they
Linksy live with him if he had nowhere else to go, and Linksy simply thanked him for his generosity. After a while, the old man takes something from the cabinet and hands it to Linksy, who is overjoyed because he has seen the first-generation gaming helmet. His son does not want this thing that contains his dream to be used to dispose of accumulated ash. The old man allowed Linksy to keep his son's dream, and Linksy confidently stated that he would not only achieve but also surpass his son's dream. Linksy began the game and created a new character, but he continued to use his real name. The system let him choose a race and profession. The first race in heaven is the human race, which has balanced physical qualities and amazing intelligence. Wisdom is a weapon, and they have given him 3 points for wisdom and perception. Each level adds 1 point for wisdom and perception. The elves are the second race, and they are the self-proclaimed noblest race, with a fine, delicate appearance, an agile body, and long shooting and short weapons. It gains 3 points for agility and 3 points for charisms. Each level upgrade adds 1 point to agility and charisma. The beast is the third race, a warrior race known for their strength, explosive power, and strong bodies capable of withstanding more powerful attacks. It has 3 extra points for both strength and defense. Each level adds 1 point to your strength and defense. Linksy is still debating her options. Although the bonuses of different races will influence the choice of profession, there are 5 major professions to choose from. Thieves are classified into 3 types. The human race, who specializes in assassination and sneaking, is the most common use. The elves are known for their speed and dexterity. There's also an orc who specializes in strong attacks and head-on confrontations. This last life of Lingxi will not be forgotten. He chose the male human race profession of the thief and learned the basic active skill, backstab, then received 12 attributes, which he combined with full point agility to plan for the next level. He also wore the default human thief costume. He finally entered Casfador's main city in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he was back in the game. He entered the game a year late in his previous life, so he's determined to take the lead this time. He was surprised to see so many individuals in the game when he first entered it. He checked the system to see who had the highest level, but it was still the same as in the previous life. Immovable Dark Pattern, Warrior level 12. Immovable is a player who keeps his personal information private and has no guild affiliations. He is also the strongest and known as one of Casfador's strongest players. Immovable was still at the top of the list in the previous life. Only a few legendary guilds in the last life can be seen, and the expert of the last life is at the top of the list. Lingxi has decided to go through what he learned in his previous life in order to become an invincible existence. He'll get a fantastic outfit quickly and hope to be the first to awaken. It's time for him to upgrade. He arrived in Casfador's main city at the Novice Village. Despite having visited the village numerous times in his previous life, he is still taken aback by its popularity. There were numerous vendors present, and this is where players could upgrade, trade, and purchase equipment. Lingxi was just walking around and looking around. Many people are rushing to buy items. In his previous life, he spent dozens of Cooper coins on a thief level 1 dagger, and now he feels like a fool. This type of business primarily does novice business and has given up on upgrading. They are effectively eliminated after level 3. Once your level reaches 5, you can no longer enter Novice Village unless you have a special mission, so it's more practical to grasp the training. There are also players here who want to collaborate with the others and join their guild. Level 3 and 4 players are especially popular at this time. Level 5, the highest level at Novice Village, is even more similar to a big boss. Players can form a group at level 1, and the level difference within the team cannot exceed level 2, so it's common for newcomers to team up with an experienced player to practice their skills. The captain level determines the maximum number of group members. The main reason for groups of advanced players leading the way is that there are too many tasks for novices. There are missions for players to complete in order to execute monsters, as well as a queue for a level 1 monster to be killed. There is no established main line. Numerous tasks are completed based on personal ability. In the early stages, upgrading is not difficult. The difficult part is not being able to capture the monster, which is why progress is slow. Lingxi has the quickest path to level 5. He walks down the shopping street to the novel shop. Someone underestimates Lingxi because he is only level 1. When the shopkeeper inquired what he needed, he said 1 primary acceleration scroll and a single-use grappling hook. The players around laughed at him because they thought Lingxi couldn't harvest by playing with a thief and purchasing an acceleration scroll, and that these two things would deplete his initial funds. Lingxi is unconcerned by what they are saying, and the shopkeeper fulfills Lingxi's request. Acceleration scroll is an unlimited prop. It will increase movement speed by 12% for 9 seconds, but only one can be activated at a time. The single-use grappling hook is also an unlimited prop. Hooking claws catch protrusions and allow redisplacement with a length of 3 meters in a 30-second interval. Lingxi already has these props in his backpack and pays 90 copper coins for them, 60 for the hook, and 30 for the scroll. While the storekeeper was happy to serve him, the man around him was still irritated. He asked other players how long it took them to reach their current level, and the majority of them said it took too long because it was difficult for novices to catch a monster in this game. Lingxi believes they will be in the Novice Village for another day or 2, so the young men are confused and act angrily as if they don't understand Lingxi's point. Lingxi simply walks away, knowing that this player will understand in a day or 2. Lingxi leads directly to Casfador's main city mountain range. Sunset Peak is located northeast of Casfador's main city. The summit of this mountain is known as Sunset Peak because it rises into the clouds and appears to be so high above the sky that even the sun avoids it. There are fewer people here, as Lingxi expected, and as a result, Lingxi can comfortably upgrade here. The majority of the players here are struggling with the quest and have no idea how to reach the summit in just 10 minutes. Since the players who failed the mission have a low level, their speed attribute is too small. The elf man stated that the first half is fine because there are roads, but the second half has flaws and no roads. This girl with pink hair cried because she lost experience points when he jumped thinking there was a hidden platform and died. Lingxi just stared at them, expressionless. The quest pickup point has a hint. The Sunset Old Man has shown up, offering everyone the opportunity to see the view from the top, but others believe it is a waste of time. Lingxi approached the Sunset Old Man, and as usual, this Sunset Old Man offered him to see the view from the top, and Lingxi answered, "Yes, respected old man, I am here to enjoy the view from the top of the mountain." Those young men noticed him and underestimated his abilities once more. They expected Lingxi to fail the mission and come out looking like a stupid dog. The system notified him if he would accept the task with a time limit of 10 minutes. Lingxi has 12 points in the early stage, all of which are in agility, and he will try to maximize his agility and speed bonuses. He already tried this task numerous times in his previous life, but ended failed. He will get a special set of equipment once he successfully ends this task, so then Lingxi accepts the task without hesitation. The Sunset Old Man looks at him, and now the countdown begins. Lingxi confidently starts the task, and he believes he will win this time. Lingxi uses his speed to ascend the mountain, and these young men are eager to see him fail. They were surprised when Lingxi did not take the mountain road and instead went to the dense jungle on the mountain road side. Although the mountain road is safe and convenient, it is winding and rugged. The distance traveled in a straight line by taking a fixed hill will be several times that of the shortest straight line between 2 points. The system will randomly spawn monsters out in the dense jungle, such as big mouth grass monsters, which is why no one takes the unexplored jungle. Lingxi learned the quickest route to the top thieves in his previous life because he ran this run a million times, and those big mouth grass monsters are the secret to getting to the top quickly. He is being attacked by a level 1 monster. This is the most common and vexing small monster in the mountain jungle. They do not pose a significant threat to bystanders, but they are a nuisance in large groups. Lingxi draws his dagger and activates his backstab skill, one of the thief's basic abilities that causes him to appear instantly on the enemy's back and slam into a weak spot. He immediately attacked the monsters and used backstab to shorten the climbing time. The system informed him that he had a lot of hatred for the big-mouthed grass monsters. Backstab's cooldown has expired, and he uses it once more to attack the monsters. He used his backstab skill every 20 seconds until there were only 7 minutes and 50 seconds left. These young men and the girl are bored waiting for him, and this girl believes Lingxi will not last more than a minute. They expected Lingxi to be surrounded by a few big-mouth grass monsters, and they are laughing at him for the second time. With 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, the system notified. Lingxi climbed the tree and jumped, not realizing he had already attracted a swarm of grass monsters. His next stop will be at the Sunset Peak Fault. Because there is a fault in the road, it must go around to the other side, which takes at least 10 minutes, but it will be faster if there is a way to cross the fault because the top of the mountain is right in front of Lingxi. The system notifies me that there were only 6 minutes and 10 seconds left. Lingxi remembered seeing a nest of grass monsters at the fault and was glad he saw it. He used the grappling hook and acceleration scroll at this time. The system informed him that he had activated a primary acceleration scroll with a duration of 9 seconds. He attacks this grass monster with a backstab and grabs his grappling hook while saying, "Lend me your help, send me up." Grass monsters surrounded him, and he steps up to its back and jumped. If he got the speed, then he will definitely reach the edge of the mountain. He is now crossing the fog to the decisive cliff stump and using the grappling hook with full strength up to the ridge. There is only one more step to go. A grass monster has appeared on the edge of the mountain and is now in front of him, but he attacks it with his dagger. The system notified him there were 5 minutes and 30 seconds, 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and 5 minutes and 17 seconds left. He successfully reaches the top of the mountain. He completed the quest in 4 minutes and 43 seconds. The Sunset Old Man had no idea Lingxi could get to the top of the mountain in less than half the time. When he leaps into the fog and climbs to the top in one go, this old man said he has a lot of determination. Then Lingxi answered, "If in this life I have no determination to look over the top of the mountain, then how can I reach the top?" The Sunset Old Man said, "Interesting," and Lingxi is speechless. The old man told him that Lingxi is the only one qualified to explore glorious power. System congratulates Lingxi on completing the Sunset Elder's hidden quest, and Lingxi is fascinated because he was unaware of the hidden quest for less than half the time. Because of Lingxi's determination, the old man recalls his past life. He handed something to Lingxi, and Lingxi's reaction is puzzled. He was stunned as he received dusty proof of glory. The dusty old emblems appear to conceal a mysterious history and journey, which the great men have polished through the ages to restore them to their former glory. The system reveals the hidden quest, and the system provides no instructions. He has never heard of this task in his previous life and is completely clueless. Lingxi receives an ascent bonus reward from the old man because he is pleased with his determination. He was surprised because he received special equipment, but it will automatically disappear at level 5, as will the attached attributes, and he will be unable to wear other equipment while equipped. Lingxi is overjoyed as a result of this extreme creation set. He immediately and without hesitation equipped this set. He is now dressed in a new costume and is showing great pleasure to the old man. The old man's goal is also accomplished, and Lingxi is mystified as to who this old man is because he does not appear to be simple. The old man simply tells him that they will meet again if Lingxi maintains his resolve from the top. The Sunset Old Man offers him a free ride to the people at the bottom of the mountain, where they will witness his return as a topper. They both teleported to the mountain's bottom part. People who criticize him are still waiting for him to fail, but they are mistaken. They saw a bright light fall from the sky in front of them like a huge explosion. They thought there was a monster or a bug in the game. but they were shocked when they all witnessed Ling Xi's success alongside the Sunset Old Man, and the level 1 thief just stared at them with no reaction. And that level 1 thief is Ling Xi. Everyone is intrigued by what has just occurred and is taken aback by Ling Xi's new costume. They think it's the mission reward. They are envious because Ling Xi, despite being only a level 1 thief, is already wearing this type of equipment. People are unaware that this type of mission can obtain equipment. It caused a commotion to return to this method. According to Ling Xi, it would have been strange if it didn't draw any attention. The old man told Ling Xi, "Young adventurer, this is as far as I'll take you." So he must deal with all of these people on his own and respond to the system dialogue. The Sunset Old Man summons a special portal with his powerful ability. People are surprised because they assumed the old man was just another non-player character. One player noticed that Ling Xi's new equipment is a one-of-a-kind mission. In Heavenland, there are 3 types of missions. The first is, which are dungeons that players are usually given. Typically, the provided rewards are experience points, money, items, skills, or equipment. The second type is, which are usually determined by chance. Players will have the opportunity to interact with special NPCs or receive special information, which will trigger a special mission. Players will receive either special bonus stats or special items as a reward. Lastly, they are unique in that they will vanish once completed, and other players will be unable to receive them. Each type of mission is divided into 2 categories, and, except for those, the difficulty of is fixed. The other 2 are divided into 5 difficulty levels, and Sunset Old Man is now ready to depart and has informed Ling Xi that they will meet again in the future if Ling Xi continues walking down the glorious road. He was about to ask for the information of, but the old man only said goodbye candidate of, but Ling Xi didn't get what he meant. It's the unique mission, and the difficulty is still unknown, but Ling Xi quickly forgets about it and returns his attention to leveling up. The pink-haired lady approached Ling Xi about his equipment because it looked so powerful, and she asked Ling Xi for a favor to take her for leveling up, which irritated the man because they had already agreed to take this girl for leveling up. They are now fighting, and Ling Xi has decided to hide his equipment and information to avoid further trouble. His effects will still be active even though he hides his equipment, and he's used his default set. Ling Xi simply ignores them and prepares to leave, saying, "Those guys can't even handle the map I'm going to right now," prompting this man to yell angrily and challenge him to a solo fight. Ling Xi responded confidently, "Wanna try?" causing the man to tremble in anger once more. Ling Xi simply walked away because he did not want to waste his time with these people. This pink-haired girl is irritated by how Ling Xi ignored her, so she returns to these 3 young men to work with them and show them a more modern set of equipment. And as expected, they still accept this traitor girl. There are players of various levels working in a team on the level 5 map. They are engaged in combat with in the map's center circle. They are now in the midst of the battle, and one young boy called his captain to ask if they could still not retreat because his mana was nearly depleted and his potion was nearly drained. His captain simply replies that they will retreat once the current wave of ants has passed. One of their colleagues tells them that they should try to get into the inner circle because they might get rich once they get the loot, and then a large ant appears in front of him. The ants in the inner circle are all level 5, and they will attack in a bunch. In Heavenland, players are not permitted to enter a map level higher than their own. Having a rich level 5 in the middle circle is already considered fortunate. The players who made it into the inner circle are all from major guilds level 5 elite teams. They are all level 5 with gold equipment, and will be paired with at least 2 healers. Everyone knows the inner circle drops good loot, but the player must be skilled to handle it. The 5 elite teams went in there solely to grind for valuable loot. This team is almost done fighting the level 4 ants when they notice Ling Xi walking around fearlessly facing these ant soldiers. He's just killing these ants normally, and they discover Ling Xi was a level 1 thief. They were astounded by how Ling Xi made it happen, and he also went to the inner circle, where people thought he was insane. Ling Xi arrived at the level 5 map resting area 15 minutes earlier. Once the players reach level 5, they will be unable to return to this map. As they progress deeper, the difficulty increases. Every player's worst nightmare is the waves of ant soldiers in the inner circle. However, for Ling Xi, who is wearing a pinnacle set, it is ideal for him to level up. Pinnacle strength deals 1000% damage to monsters level 5 and below, and these monsters can only deal -1 damage to the player. Ling Xi can probably reach level 5 by eliminating all of the ant soldiers in the inner circle before the next wave respawns. When killing a monster on a map higher than the player, it will grant an X multiplier. Others who are now playing here are focused on leveling. But there are some who are arrogant because they have a red name and still come to this map. There are consequences to having a red name. If a player kills another player, their name turns red. Dying with a red name will result in the player losing XP and money, as well as having one of their items dropped. It depends on the severity of the offense. The distance between the middle and inner circles is too great. The difficulty of the inner circle should not be underestimated. Even level 5 teams must take caution. Ling Xi walks in front of this guild while they are discussing, and he notices that it is the Nebulous Guild, and that only the 5 major guilds are strong enough to go into the inner circle right now. Nebulous Guild noticed Ling Xi, and these elves men acted angrily to Lingxi for listening to them while his captain scolded him. Someone draw a dagger and pointed it to Lingxi. It was the captain of the Nebulous Guild. She advises Lingxi not to enter the inner circle because it is not the place for a level 1 to gain experience. She instructed Lingxi to go to the level 1 or 2 maps first to level up. Lingxi believes that these people are not all that bad and that their mouths are far superior to those of others. Lingxi intended to retrieve the item that had been dropped in there in exchange for money. They didn't believe what he was saying and suspected that something was wrong with his brain. "Buddy, I don't have time to joke with you," the captain replied. He didn't believe it because Lingxi was only level 1 and it was impossible for him to bring back the equipment. Nonetheless, Lingxi wanted to bring it back because he needed money, and he inquired as to where it had been dropped. They specifically chose a boulder in the inner circle, but the level 5 magic staff was dropped on top of the boulder. Perhaps no one picked it yet because there was no one in the inner circle when they left. Lingxi abruptly left, telling them to wait for him and to pay him back once he got their equipment. When a girl from the Nebulous Guild asked how much they needed to pay, their captain replied, "Do you really believe a level 1 thief will be able to bring it out? Is your brain also broken?" Although there are many people grinding levels here, Lingxi rushed right into the inner circle. His goal is to reach level 5 within the day, and he is confident that he can accomplish this. He begins fighting level 3 ant soldiers, and this time he activates his pinnacle strength. He also hits the ant that was about to attack this young man because his fireball is about to expire. Lingxi arrived at the middle circle, where level 4 and the soldier can be found, and used backtaps to execute these ants while fighting fearlessly. He's almost finished and is concentrating on the mobs. The guild that was fighting in the middle circle before is surprised because Lingxi is now fighting in the inner circle. Even though ant soldiers surround him, he manages to fight all by himself, and these ants only deal with Lingxi -1 health. He's very powerful because of his pinnacle strength, which deals 1000% damage plus critical, and as a result, he leveled up to level 2. He was able to level up the experience that the inner circle provides. He takes advantage of the fact that no one is present to clear the ant soldiers. The players witnessed Lingxi in the inner circle, and were amazed by how he fought despite his low level when he rushed to the inner circle at only level 1 and managed to stay alive and solo clear the inner circle along with the bonus X multiplier from having a lower level than the map. He has already advanced from level 1 to level 5. They're curious about the equipment Lingxi used because he can level up in such a short period of time. Lingxi found the player's Fire Chaser staff in the Nebulous Guild and quickly advanced to level 5.